When we came to humanity, asking for their help, they gave it to us. At the time, they had just barely discovered FTL technology, and had only recently begun to use FTL-powered ships to pioneer the stars. Their civilization was still split into their various polities, spread across their home solar system. When our ships, the size of their largest cities, carrying hundreds of thousands of our kind aboard each one, entered orbit of Earth, humanity was surprised to say the least. But unlike other civilizations, their kind didn't preemptively attack. Instead of sending missiles and weapons fire, they sent diplomats, scientists. They communicated with us, and when we requested asylum and requested a place to land our ships, they not only granted it, but used the best of their capabilities to help us. We gave them our oath, a promise, then and there, to pay the favor back. Our ships landed across 3 of their many planets on the worlds they called Venus, Mars, and Ganymede. We settled in the areas inhospitable to them, which luckily enough were very hospitable for our kind. We, with the help of humans, began to build our cities, slowly but surely, building a home for what was left of our species. In return, we granted them access to our technology, our databanks. They reverse engineered and adapted our technology, sending their civilization centuries into the future in terms of technological capability. With their new information from our databanks, they discovered other civilizations close to them, untold hundreds of habitable worlds and star systems near and far. But they also discovered what we were running from. The Great Scourge, as we called it, was a highly xenophobic race with technology far superior to ours and many other great civilizations, hell-bent on exterminating all that wasn't them. When they had first made contact with another civilization, one of the most peaceful ones that had been discovered and charted in the galaxy, they responded by sending fleets to torch their capital world and committed an act of violence unseen across all of galactic history. Billions of billions were killed in the first waves by the Great Scourge. Hundreds of worlds torched and burned by the vast armadas of their hostile civilization. Our species had been met with the same 3 centuries ago. When the Great Scourge's armada entered orbit of our home planet, they didn't even bother to commit an invasion, with which they would have had the advantage. Instead, they utilized great particle lances and bombarded our planet from orbit. In the span of an hour, our planet's surface had been burned several times over and wiped of all life. Similar occurrences had taken place across our remaining worlds as we scrambled to save at least some of our kind. By some miracle, our ships had escaped the Great Scourge, and we spent most of the 3 centuries trying to find somewhere to settle and warning all who we could of the threat. We discovered humanity 50 years before we landed our ships and watched from the shadows as they first unveiled their FTL drives. That was when we made contact with them, and when we were allowed to land our ships. The discovery that there was a threat to life in the galaxy awakened something in humanity, and like a wildfire, humanity rushed to the stars, expanding their territory and technology rapidly. They found new worlds, and we expanded. They allowed us to settle new worlds to rebuild our civilization under their care. So we thanked them, and rebuilt, expanding once more. We began to rebuild our ships, slowly but surely, adapting our technology to humanity's, and we in turn helped humanity with their journeys. As they expanded, new species were brought into the fold, helped to the same level by us and by humanity, promised safety by the hand of humanity. And we, with a growing number of new species and civilizations, promised to pay the favor back to humanity when they most needed it. When the Great Scourge inevitably fell upon humanity's worlds, they were met with a fight. Human fleets and defenses engaged Scourge ships, even defeating some, but the Scourge persisted and pushed forth. Worlds of all species were assailed, but we pushed back. Humanity proved a challenge to the Scourge, as close to an equal as the Scourge had ever faced. When the Scourge arrived on the doorstep of Earth, all species under humanity came together, bound by a single purpose, a promise to humanity. Our fleets, from all across human space, went forward with strength and determination. We engaged the Scourge and with our unity, pushed them back. Hand in hand, all under humanity's care, pushed the Scourge back. We destroyed their ships and fleets, liberated their worlds, and avenged those before us. Our fleets strove back the Scourge, wiping out the opposing fleets quicker than they could rebuild. We would avenge those who had died by the hand of the Scourge. Those killed when their planets were burned mercilessly. We would show no mercy to the Scourge, for they were not worthy of any. We were united under our promise, our oath to humanity, and for the vengeance of the galaxy's past glories. We would pay humanity back for how they helped us, and we would restore order to the galaxy. The Great Scourge would be no more.